is the value in having all those things and you're not righteous? What's the value of having all those things and then your soul be destroyed? What's the value in having, better yet, the scripture says, what's to the profit of man if he gain the whole world and lose his soul? What, you gonna trade the world back for your soul? They gave it to you because it's less valuable. And yet we haven't pieced that together to realize this is not our place of refuge. This is not our land. We're so accustomed to bare bottom and bare minimum. When as soon as we get a little bit of something, we think we made it. Got your own car, got your own house, but you forgot about them 40 hours a week you working? 80 hours? 12, 14-hour shifts? 10-hour shifts? 6 days a week? That's living? Putting up with the disrespect. And you know you can't do too much because at the end of the day, you just a nigga. Do they value the so-called black man? Latino man? Look at how all these other nations, they can't agree on a lot. They disagree with policy. They disagree with finances. You got BRICS trying to come up with a new currency. They'll destabilize each other. They'll run psyops and overthrow each other's governments. But the one thing that they can agree on is to never let our people come together and succeed according to the Bible. That's right. That's the one thing they can agree on, is to keep them niggas and them Mexicans enslaved because we're benefiting too much. Right. The only thing that God is going to judge you off of is if you kept these commandments. Read that.
This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 6 and verse 25. And it shall be our righteousness if we observe to do all these commandments before the Lord our God.
That's what it says in the Bible. If you want to be a righteous individual, because the scriptures talk about his righteous are the saints, the righteous shall make it into the kingdom of heaven. No, ye not the unrighteous shall not make it into the kingdom of heaven. He said if you want to be righteous, it shall be our righteousness to keep the commandments. That's what God is concerned about. And that's the only thing he's concerned about. It's hard to feel that way if you have so little to your name and to your life to feel like God's chosen. But that's the reality. Go to Deuteronomy chapter 28.
Come on.
God has given us curses for our disobedience.
Come on.
And that's the reason why it's hard to feel chosen. And that's the reason why the rest of the nations around us, they sit up here and mock. The whole time we're the chosen of God.
Right.
We're like, you know, Lion King. Dethroned from our kingdom in a land strange and far away, but he was still a lion. He was still powerful. He still came from that lineage that made him a king.
God ain't for you, bro?
That's the story of our people. Trying to reconnect and walk in the steps of our Father.
He said God ain't for you.
Start at verse 1.
Be like that.
This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28 and verse 1. And it shall come to pass, if thou shalt hearken diligently unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe and to do all his commandments, which I command thee this day, that the Lord thy God would set thee on high above all nations of the earth.
That was the ultimatum that God gave to the children of Israel. He said, if you keep the commandments, I will set you on high above all nations. That's the thing. You know, what was it? Was it Spider-Man? With great power comes great responsibility. That's our story. You know why? Because God has chosen us, that doesn't make us immune and totally above correction. That doesn't make us immune and totally above rule. But that means that if we adhere to correction and we adhere to righteous rulership, that we can have more than the other nations can ever have here in this world. But drop down to verse 15. This was an ultimatum God put forth to the children of Israel. The same way you would if you have a child. Hey, you know what? I know you got a big test coming up. Or you know what? If you do good in school, if you do good for this time, you know what? We're going to go to Chuck E. Cheese. We're going to go here. We're going to go there. I'll reward you. But what happens when they come home with them F's? What happens when they come home with them disrupted in class and class clown and suspensions? Then it's time for about to put BTA, right? Belt to behind. Then it's a different story. Then it's a different story. It's the same thing with God. He said, if you honor and keep my commandments, if you follow all the things that are written in this book, he said, I don't mind putting you on high. You're my people. That's like doing good by your children. Man, who would want to punish who they love? What type of love is that? You gonna tell God about love better than God? So he said, yeah, this is love if you keep these commandments, and I'm gonna reciprocate that love. I'll give you everything that a man can have. But drop down to verse 15.
Verse 15. But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe to do all his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee.
And it's the exact same thing. That responsibility comes with stipulations. Because now, even though we can have it all, we can lose it all. And that's exactly where we are today. We're at a space where even though we are the chosen of God, we're athletic as all get out, innately inclined to be in the sun, to be athletic, to be superior. But look where we are. In the land of our captivity, descendants of slaves still serving our captives.
Right.
Do you think that that could happen under any other circumstance outside of God? How did you take the fastest running, highest jumping, strongest man on earth and you put him in chains? There was some divine intervention. Because God already told us, if you disobey me, you think that God is going to come down with a belt and say, all million of y'all line up. I'm putting BTA. I'm whooping 600,000 behinds. God don't do that. He said, oh, you don't want to listen? Oh, no problem. Watch this disease I'll give y'all. Next thing you know, there's disease running through the community. Oh, you mean like cancer? Like diabetes? Like hypertension? Yeah.
Mental illness.
Mental illness?
Yup.
Yeah.
Primarily over here. Curses.
That's what God does. That's how God disciplines. Poverty. Oh, you gotta pay taxes. You ain't hardly making nothing. Slavery. Drop down. Matter of fact, let's get some of these curses. Where we at? Let's go to verse 28. Listen to what God said he would put upon his chosen people if we chose to disobey. And watch how it sounds like I'm holding up a metaphorical mirror. Go ahead.
Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 28. The Lord shall smite thee with madness and blindness and astonishment of heart.
Statistically, our people have the highest cases of mental illness on earth. Oh, you only this percentage of the population, but look at the mental health. But you know why? Because we experience things like verse 54. Matter of fact, 49.
49. And the Lord shall bring a nation against thee from far, from the end of the earth, as swift as the eagle flyeth.
We are subject to captors. Our people did not get here because we chose to come to America for better opportunities. That's what the other nations do. And they only do that because our people are here building up this country and making it the great nation that it is. Y'all remember when Trump was first elected, everybody, all the white folks was coming out like, you can't do this. Not because they care about our people, but they was like, who's gonna do all the work? You're getting rid of our labor. You're getting rid of our working class. It was some white woman, she came out when Trump was talking about all that deportation. She said, who's gonna clean the toilets, Donald Trump? If you deport all the Mexicans, who's gonna clean the toilets?
That's great.
True story, go look it up.
That's
That's what this nation sees our people as. They're the working class. Everybody talk about how hard working the so-called Latino man is. We make jokes about it. Man, they threw up a roof in 30 minutes. Why you working so fast? They just gonna give us another roof. But the white man see that and says, damn, look how that Mexican man did that in 30 minutes. I bet he could do 100 houses a day. Cha-ching. Damn, look at that black man out there sweating and working. He'd have been 7, 8, 9 hours, no food and barely any water, and he's still going. Keep him going. Keep him working. The Lord brought a nation from far, as swift as the eagle flies. What's the national bird of America? What bird do white people love? They love that eagle. They love it. He said, as swift as the eagle flies. Go ahead.
A nation whose tongue thou shalt not understand.
The English that I'm speaking to you, that you're speaking to me. The Spanish that you speak. Is this our original language from our original people? Or is this the result of slavery and language and culture and doctrine being put upon us? There's a term called assimilation, where you take away a people's culture, language, history, understanding of themselves, and you slowly assimilate them into society as you would see fit. So you take our language, and you take our identity, and you take our knowledge of
Get
God.
that and get that understanding.
He said, as swift as the eagle flieth, that what?
A nation whose tongue thou shalt not understand.
Go ahead.
A nation of fierce countenance, which shall not regard the person of old, nor shew favor to the young.
He said, we're going to be subject to a people that don't show favor to the young or the old. They don't care how old you are. If you're one of us, you're a problem. They don't treat us any different. They don't have no type of compassion in their hearts for us. Look at how Tamir Rice was killed. What was he, 12? Trayvon Martin. And then you know how many cases it's been since then? Those aren't even the most recent names of those that have been slaughtered of our people here in America. Go to verse 48. Listen to this.
Verse 48. Therefore, thou shalt serve thine enemy, which the Lord shall send against thee.
Look at that. Now, while we're trying to figure out what we should be working on, he said, I'm going to make you serve your enemies. We have enemies as a people. That's what the Bible says. He said, the Lord shall make you serve your enemies that he will sin against you. You wonder why we're here. It's because God allowed this to happen.